This is a train simulation game, as you can see. It's been out for a while. I think the developers are called Alt Future. And I absolutely love this game. I'm going to try and help you understand why. It's called Derail Valley for a reason. So as you can see, I've got 3 cargo containers here. I've got my shunter over there, and I've derailed on this corner because I wasn't focusing. It's an amazing game. It's just got really good gameplay. It's a bit of a slow burner. It needs a bit of time. Let me see if I can... that's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm playing it in VR. You can play it on screen, so 2D, and I have done that a few times. But it's one of the most immersive games I've ever played. It really makes you feel like you're in this world. It involves you. You've got physical interaction. You can move around the cab of the train, as I'll show you in a moment. So what I'm going to do here is just finish this mission, and hopefully you'll understand, why this is such an amazing thing. So I aim at it, and then I point it on the track where I want it to be, and it's going to tell me how much it's going to cost. 2,300. This is a financial disaster. So we've just paid about best part of 5,000 to get this re-railed. Now I'm just going to leave that on my belt there, and I have to couple this up again. So this is where the game becomes very physical, very sort of hands-on. I'm sitting down in my room in VR on a Quest 2 to do this. I'm running a 3080 Ti, I think you guys know that. And now the problem is these things are a little bit too far away. Let's see, it's not going to let me. So these are actually too far away. I need to be very careful. This is where it's quite the simulation. So I don't think I've got a handbrake where I can put the brakes on these guys. So I need to be very careful, and I'm going to have to shunt slowly. Sorry, that's the wrong key. I'm going to teleport back here. This one is not going to attach. It's too far away. So I'm going to have to shunt very slowly. So teleport up into my cabin. You should be able to hear the lovely diesel engine ticking over here. You can see you've got beautiful lighting, and it's very immersive and physical because we can put our map down here, and we can put our job down here, and we've got all of our controls. So basically I'm going to get her to slide forward very gently. So brake is on. I've got the wrong brake there on. We might actually just roll down once that brake comes off. I'm going to turn the lights on. So our brake pressure for our cargo there should be off. We're just going to tap that and move forward. You can see we're pushing that one forward now. Taps forward to the second one. So now I jump out, and you can see the physics there. The developers are working on essentially a version 2 of this game. They're adding loads to it, so I always forget which way to grab. So this is my brake hoses, and I want that to be on. And this is the stuff I love, so it's very immersive in this sense. So we've got to turn the brakes on. Probably you would have done this first, if I'm really honest. And then you tighten it up. And that's us coupled. You do, in more advanced carriages, you have electrical connections as well. This one only has pneumatic brakes. So you can see that bugger is rolling away there. Oh shit. Oh, the whole thing is rolling. That's not good. So let's get this on as quick as we can. Come on. Oh, this is a problem. Alright, that's on. And you can see this is turning into a disaster. So where's my hose? Alright. This is where I should have left the brake on. This is a great video. That's on. That's on. Alright, we made it. Oh, so teleport is a bit tasty, as you can tell there. So this is moving down and it's speeding up. And that's because there's no brakes on and gravity is just taking us down this hill. Whew. All right, that was a bit stressy. So let's see where we are. We're this blue arrow here. I want to go past this junction here, and then I want to reverse along here to the goods factory in town. And there we can see this is our mission. So if I flick through the pages there, we had to pick up from the harbour town, go to the goods factory in town. Just check my speed, 30. And it tells us which lot D60 to pick up and where to drop off. So, I've just gone through this junction, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to bring her to a stop, and then I'm going to go in the proper direction again. So you can see we've just rolled past here. I'm going to just use the independent brake, which is only braking this front part of the train. I'm going to have to use a little bit of train brake as well. This takes ages to react, so let's just put this on. So I don't want to use that unless we've really got a stopping problem. Right, change our reverser, and then we need to make sure that our signal is going the right way. So that's the signal there. It looks like a bit like a diving flag. We've got this nice remote control here, so we'll need to change it to switch. Oops, I always do that. And then you've got this remote control, and that changes the switch up there. We're good to go. So it's very manual. It's not like you have a central controller. Now we're on a hill, so I'm going to give it a bit of power so we don't slip back too much. Take the brake off, and basically the game is so well balanced for gameplay. So there's quite a big map actually, but there's lots of gradients up and down. There's corners. You've got to watch the speed limits very carefully to make sure you don't crash. And you can see here all the signals. So I'm going to stand up. It's actually a really good game for room scale VR, which is something I don't use very much. But you've got this nice small cabin here. You can walk around, you can look around, something which is very, very good in VR. So this is basically saying 30 kilometer speed limit to the right. And our little shunter, which is backwards in case you're wondering. I was too lazy to turn it around. It's hauling these three things around this corner, and we shouldn't be going less than 30 kilometer an hour to be safe. I've not had any motion sickness issues with this game, but it does involve movement through space, so it's probably not something for beginners. Yeah, so you can see you just chug away. It's a very nice chill out game. I'm going to sit down in my chair again, and we can kind of keep a look at here. So it's 60. We can speed up. You constantly need to check this map to see where you're going. So this arrow is actually just showing where I'm pointing. So we're going on this part of the track. We want to have the next signal going to the right, and then the signal after that going to the left to take us to the good factory in town. So we need a right and a left. And basically, you just drive along. You keep your eye on the speed. So it looks like we're speeding up here, 40. So they've got a few other things that gamify this. So your speed, you have to watch. Your fuel, so you can see I've used more than half a tank, and the engine temperature. So if you're going up a steep incline and you're hauling a lot of cargo, you'll have to manage your engine there a little bit. And the technique is you give it a little boost, and then you just put it back on tickover. You can see here she's running away actually quite nicely. So it's about 60, so you can see the speed has gone up to 50 because we're in a flat part. And it looks like a fairly flat, curvy section here ahead. And you need to really read this map and figure out, what's coming up. So we've got a couple of gentle curves, and then a steeper curve perhaps going into this junction. So we've got this left, we've got a right, and then another left. And you get audio help, so I'm going to put on the brake a bit here, because you can hear Actually sped up to 70, that's why. So basically you can hear when the wheels are screeching. Bring it right back to 50. This is just using the independent brakes, maybe not the right technique. I've actually got full brake on here. Take that brake off. And so it was a right, then a left. Check our speed again. 50, should be alright for this kind of corner. Speed limit is 60, and we've got a junction coming up in 0.3 miles. So it was a right, then a left. I'm going to slow it down. So, even though train driving seems like something kind of benign, maybe boring, Derail Valley keep you really busy. So that's on the right. I don't need to change it. Speed goes up to 60 again. Brake is off. We'll just roll through at 40. And then the next junction we want left. Yeah, so kudos to the developers. The way this game is balanced is awesome. Even though it's a kind of chill game, I'm just sitting here in my office chair, enjoying a nice ride through this beautiful scenery. You do need to keep your wits about you. It is a driving game. You've got to keep your eyes out the window. There's no traffic at the moment, so I don't need to worry about any other train coming along that other track there. I do need to read these signals. So we've got a left coming up, and this is where I need to grab this. And I can see that the signal is to the right. There we go. And this will just take us into the yard. So we're going to finish off, and I'll show you the end of a mission. So you can see we're going to turn left into that yard. Lovely jubbly, as they say. Yeah, I mentioned before this shunter is the wrong way round. The engine is on the other side. You can see the exhaust pipe there, and it gets better cooling when it's the right way around. So there's things like that you have to consider. The fuel is quite precious, as you saw. And the other thing I like about it is, so there's pretty good physics simulation of how the wheels stay on the track. You can see how the thing moves around. It's beautiful. The map is big enough to be interesting. It's got enough gradients and things like that to keep you busy. So let's just give her a little boost here. You see the speed quickly drops as soon as you get onto an incline. The graphics, I think it's all in Unity, but the graphics are very acceptable. They did a foliage update recently. It made it significantly better. So we're just shunting around this valley here, and you can see we're going to come a little bit of twisties under a bridge, and then I'm going to stop her because I'm going to have to look at my map and figure out where, which siding to take my cargo into. Could open the doors, get a bit more sound there. Close it. You could teleport around anywhere in the world, even when the train's running, and you can lose it quite quickly that way. So I'm just going to stand up here, make sure there's nothing in my room which is going to knock me out. Let's just do this. Oh. So you can actually go outside and get a better view if you want. Just going out of my guardian zone, so be a bit careful. Keep it nice and quiet. Yeah, so I'm just going out of my guardian zone, so I don't actually see the VR view. So I can see in the distance there this viaduct. Let's turn around again. Check our map. Let's check this. So we are going to Goods Factory in town. D61, that looks like. And you will see, if I can find D61 without looking at the map, there's a map of each town. Oh, we've got a junction here. So So come into a tunnel, and then we've got a junction. So I'm just going to pull her to a stop. And you'll see from this menu, so I've got schematic station maps. So this was GF, Goods Factory in Town. And this means this way. Oh, it's the other way. Just looking at this black arrow. So you can see there's lots of maps to look at. Right. Goods Factory and Town. So I wanted to go to D, which means coming in, going through B, doesn't matter. Cool, this is quite complicated to get to D. Or I could go all the way through to D. So I'm assuming we're coming in from here, so it's quite a complicated one. I want to go all the way through and back. Right, let's stick that here. The first part doesn't matter if I'm left or right. Oops. Break off. Just checking the real world time because I have an appointment. 15 minutes. So we're okay for fuel and temperature. So let's see. This looks slightly different from the schematic D61 I'm looking for. It's going to go straight ahead. I think D61 is over that side of the town. So you do need to look and see if there's any carriages on the other tracks there. So this looks like, does that say B or? Can't read this in VR yet because of the resolution. So B, yeah, that's where you come in, and we could turn off on the next one, take a right. It's quite hard for me to understand. I'm going to switch this next one there, because I think this will take us across this other side. Creep along like this. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so this track, if I go forward a bit, you can see it takes us through to the other side. And again, if I go and check this, it's going to take us through, and then I'll have to go past the junction and then back up into D. That's okay. So it looks like this is us coming back onto that straight, and then I'll need to change that switch to take us back into D, which is over there. So I have to back her up so that all my three carriages are on this part of the track. Just want to look around the corner there. Right, probably just put that big brake on. Right, so we're going for D61. Now I can go, as long as I've got my signal, I can basically go all the way back up here, walk the track effectively, and we wanted to go left here. Assuming, yeah, left in here. And then I need to find where D61 is. So D61 is this track here. So not the furthest on the right. And then you need to go back and figure out what's the switches you need for that. So this one is good. Takes us straight on. Then we want to go right here. Right here. And then left on that last one. All right. Sorry, wrong button. Then we just go back to our train. As you can see, you can move around pretty quickly with teleport. Back in. Switch this to the front. Brake it off. Brake is off. Oops. Left the brakes off. Now we should get going. I've got 10 minutes to finish this video before my lunch. And you'll see that if you give it too much power, you'll get this wheel slip come on. So you have to progressively move forward. If you've got too much weight and not enough traction, you can use sand to give you a bit more grip. There's a few things to manage, but this in itself, the train driving, is a little micromanagement sim unto itself, which is awesome. And the other thing that's worth mentioning is there are other train types which you unlock. So this is the little shunter, the basic one. Then there's a bigger diesel locomotive, and there's a steam engine. And this, I've only unlocked this one so far because I keep derailing, unfortunately. So that's going on to this siding, the correct one. And I think as long as I'm past that sign, probably enough. Let's just slam the brakes on. Yeah, so that's it. I've got my cargo in the siding. All I need to do now is decouple. Then I'll get the money for this, but bear in mind I did lose the several thousand. So normally you should close off this valves. So sorry, I'm struggling because I'm not in my Guardian. Can't see. Right, so they are decoupled. Duck under. And then basically I turn off this thing. There's also some pretty clever stuff like you shouldn't turn your engine on and off too much and all this kind of stuff. So then we take our job. I'm going to put it in there. The map comes with as always. So I think it's that one, and I can just get my map back. That's not the one I wanted. I want schematic map. And we're looking for the shop, so it's back at B. Put this back in. B was over here, so we just teleport across, and here's our shop. And then we take our job and we put it in. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. It's very manual, as you'll see. And it will tell us if we have completed or not. So complete. Took some time. Base payment 14,000. And then I get some money. 14,000. I put this. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting teleport. Put this in my wallet. I got some money. So yeah, that's Derail Valley. It's a VR and 2D train simulation game. It's got really good game tuning. It's really fun to use. Very immersive in VR. Really, really good chill out game. Really feel like you're in the world, and plenty to do, plenty to learn. It's pretty full on. But the developers are working on a version 2 of it called Derail Valley Simulator, I think it's called, where there's weather, multiplayer, loads of stuff that make it a better 2D game, which I think it deserves. Hopefully, it'll retain its charm as a VR game. But that development has taken quite a long time, but it looks like it's going to be awesome. So keep an eye out for it. But that's how you do train driving in VR. That's all for me. Cheers for now.